Welcome to this week's episode of Into the Black. As always, I am your host, DM, and kind of god, Lincoln. My players, as always, in the top left, played by Jake, is Pissed Off Pip the Manic Mechanic. In the top right, played by everyone's best friend and Brandon, playing Klob, the Techno-Minotaur. In the bottom left, played by Alex, we have Paranoid Percy, I forget what the other word I used for this one, operative. And in the bottom right, we have, played by Lily, Massive Manala, the buff bureaucrat. Which I think, honestly, is my best one. When last we left our heroes, they had narrowly escaped by dropping out of the drift. Destruction at the hands of Ozyrandian, the second of the Dragonkin assassins sent by Regirax.
Yep.
Or Regiarix, depending on who you're asking. Who was a much, much more formidable than the previous one.
Mm-hmm. We were like, we have to leave. This is way too hard.
In the fight, they attained, a total of 4 kobold friends who are now on the ship with them. And seem quite willing to, be interns, I guess?
Gesh, Sek, Cal, and Tench.
Mm-hmm.
Good old Tench.
Mm-hmm.
So dropping out of the drift, you're sort of in extrasolar space, nothing around, just the occasional piece of space debris or dust. The hull is severely damaged and will take time to repair.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We also said next time
Unsurprising.
that we wanted to analyze the small fighter ship logs to see where they came from, and also look at the small cobalt guns, so we'd see if we could make our own.
Sure.
And then they also said hull repairs. So yes, that
I
means
forgot. What are the small kobold guns? Why do we want to make our own?
they have these little pistol things.
Vizov, we can just start the episode. Klob, if you want to be looking at these guns with Vizov, he's got them kind of field stripped on the table.
What are these things anyway?
I don't know. There's nothing I've ever seen. Nothing even in the pipeline for any of the companies I know about. And look at this. He picks up this one little piece that looks like a heat sink of some kind, and he says, I don't know what this is made of. And he hands it to you.
What material? What?
I can't identify the material.
Looks metallic, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's heavy. It's a good sign.
But it's got thermal properties unlike anything I've seen. A heat capacity that doesn't make any sense.
I haven't ever seen one of these before, have I?
Give me a engineering check
All right.
to identify this material.
Ooh.
Even with that 24, you don't recognize it. You don't know what it could be. Some kind of weird new alloy.
Well,
the computer is having trouble identifying it.
well, we'll just have to, break it down and look at the parts. We got a lab. We can go in there and start looking at it under a microscope, hitting it with various things.
We can do some mass spectroscopy.
Yeah,
But basically, part of why we
science and
wanted to
whatnot.
investigate was there was no serial numbers or any manufacturer trademarks or anything.
Yeah, nothing.
They're coming from somewhere weird. Look at this thing. I mean, it's new technology.
Or it's secret technology the Blue Ion is making and wants no one to know about.
Purse, do you think this is like a secret society?
Absolutely. The question
Also,
is, why did they slip up now? Was it intentional?
I think the question is, how deep does it go?
Also,
Are you in
Vizov
it?
explains that they're way more efficient.
I have one of the guns.
They're way more efficient than other laser weapons of similar design.
Would you describe them as a small arm?
They are a small arm. They're
Excellent.
basically an azimuth laser pistol with the automatic quality.
Laser machine pistol.
They're like little laser
Without the
submachine
machine.
guns.
Oh yeah, it's just a bunch of different lasers that it puts on a rotor and it
To let them cool down, yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
I think
So he says, I'll put these back together. I'll put them in the armory for you. Put them in storage.
Yeah, sure.
Is it the kind of thing that we're going to need more fuel for?
What do you mean?
Do we need to get... when you shoot a gun, you run out of bullets. Do we need
They
more?
use batteries, which you can recharge on the ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, solar.
and the ship's just drifting at the moment.
Yeah, we got to start on those hull
We
repairs.
gotta land this thing. Is the landing gear intact? Can we land it to repair it?
You
or no?
can land. You're in deep space right now.
Ah.
And
Where
you
are we
can,
Let's,
you can
let's-
you can fix the hull like this.
Yeah, I was like, let's see what Pip thinks. Let's let him take charge.
Yeah,
on
we'll
that.
go do some hull fixing.
All right.
Cool.
We've got a whole bunch of new volunteers.
It's
A
true.
whole bunch.
And we all have vac suits.
Hey Pip, look, you're orbiting me.
So Pip, you get all your stuff. You got the big things full of UBPs, and you've got your hull repair tools, and you go out and you have what do you have your kobolds doing? Because they've kind of taken to following you around.
Yeah, so they get all in their suits that we pull out of their jet wreckage, right? Like,
Yep.
and I give them all little, like, not very much so they can't get into trouble, but, like, there's parts of the ship where it's just hull damage where you just need to go, like, it's literally like if you've ever seen, like, when they spray paint car parts and you take the thing and you just spray, like, across it like that. Like, there's these UBP sprayers, and that's literally all you do, just over the part, and it just, they're smart. There's little nanites in there that position the UBPs in place and then, bury
You gotta go slow, but it fills in the holes.
And I give them each a little spray gun with UBPs, and I'm like, everywhere where you see a hole, spray it.
Excellent.
And I am going
We want
to
a hole where
go
there's no hole.
outside, and I'm going to sort of just tether myself to the dock or whatever,
Yeah.
and stay like outside monitoring in case something goes wrong, since I'm faster and have the jetpack and stuff.
Pip, since you're kind of running this operation, can I get an engineering check from you?
You may.
Can Bree assist? Or can
Bree
I
can
assist?
anyone can assist.
I think
I'd say
Bree-
Klob would be most likely to assist since he's out there.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. That's good.
Klob, give me an engineering assist so that I can have plus 20 on this.
Get my physical dice. 15.
I rolled a 40.
Pip,
We came out with a bigger ship.
can you please tell me a quick little anecdote about a time when you made do with almost nothing
A Scotty
to
miracle.
fix
you
a
say?
ship? A Scotty miracle.
Yeah.
A different time, you mean?
A different time, because you're about to pull a Scotty miracle.
All I
Oh.
had was an empty roll of toilet paper and a battery.
So, we were piloting a shuttle back from the surface of a planet during the Swarm War, and the Swarm attacked right then, and we got stranded because our ship just got torn apart, and we were in the shuttle there, and we just escaped them, and we crash-landed on one of the moons, on the dark side of the moon, and the Swarm didn't see us and then moved on to go eat something else. And so we were, running out of power and oxygen because we'd crash-landed there, and I'm trying to think, because if it's a car and it's buried, you dig in and you like poke out the tires and you get some more air.
Did you use the reactor to like process regolith to make more air?
Yeah,
then,
exactly. Like, since the reactor's dead anyway, we basically broke it open and we took all these different components of the like battery acid shit, like, and we mixed A and B and ran this through that and like put whatever kind of metal you need in it, and like it started producing oxygen
And
instead
then
of
we used the
electricity.
cigarette lighter to start a campfire.
Did you do
And then you were able to
electrolysis?
turn the thrusters into like a beacon, and you got rescued.
Exactly. We turned the thrusters essentially into like a flare. We created some magnesium with some like fusion in the engine, and then set up the thrusters to basically fire it out.
To alert the rescue party, fantastic. You do something similar here today because you're going to do this in a quarter of the time and a quarter of the UPBs required.
Ooh.
Hell yeah, bitch.
It's normally 10 UPB per hull point. You're going to do it in a quarter, rounded down to the nearest UBP.
So
Damn.
2 UBPs per whole point.
Yep. And this is only going to take you like 2 hours.
Wow.
What the fuck? That was amazing.
It turns out having a whole bunch of little dudes with UBP spray guns makes it go a lot quicker.
And you tell them like exactly where to go, and you're just patching the structural stuff. You're not patching any holes that are like not going to be a problem.
Right.
You're like, I don't care that there's a hole there. There's nothing there.
That part is literally it's like the chassis on your car. It's literally just there to look nice.
Yeah, I don't need to patch that right now. This panel over here definitely patched that one.
What's this structure? Are you making like, are these dodecahedron like gaps inside the structure? Is that strong? Does that work?
You're creating
I've
like a
invented
metallic
buckyballs.
foam.
Well, you also use, once you
Foam.
like spray in some of the things, every once in a while we need to fix something, you use these like self-sealing bolts where it's like basically a big nail gun, and you put it on, you go through it, and it goes boom, and it fires a bolt through the hole. The bolt then expands in the hole to fill the space.
Sure. So you get the
That sounds
hole
useful.
to wherever you want to get the hole. You can do your math. You come back inside, get unsuited, and ship's ready to go.
Fuck yeah. In those 2 hours, can I be using the lab?
Absolutely.
Sweet. I would like to do a thorough analysis of the pills that we got on Aposte.
How many did you get?
He gave us, I'm checking right now. Doo.
The pills, I thought we got a bunch.
You did get like a whole big jar.
Yeah.
He did. I'm looking right now at what it said. Okay. Oh, we also got one of the helmets.
Mhm.
Azzy was the android who sold us the stuff, right? He was working out of the Emerald Towers,
And he
da-da-da.
wanted you to join his guild. So that we can
Yes.
get Percy addicted to an MMO in a D&D game.
Right.
Very easy.
We got, it just says, we got the helmet and then only one of those. And
Okay.
that's better, basically, than than using the pills. The pills you take one every 6 hours. But
Cool,
he
so
was
you got-
basically saying that they're really experimental, but it just says like a giant bottle.
So you got a big bottle. You got a bunch. You got like a couple hundred.
Yeah. But it sounds like the kind of thing of like, you know, the back of Tylenol, it's like take 2 every 6 hours, but like don't do it such that you've taken it for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
Basically,
like that.
is what the math is. It sounds like that.
So yeah, you can totally do some math on one of those, some science on that, and
I
give
just
me
wanna,
a
like,
life
pick
science
one.
check.
I want to take one or a couple, however many I need, and working with whoever's in the lab right then, probably Vizan,
Yeah, Dr. Vizan would be in there.
and just use them.
If
and
you say Vizan, they correct you and say Dr. Vizan.
Hey, Vazan, what's going on?
We're all doctors here in space, okay? Everybody has a title, and it's help your friend out. That's your title, okay? I don't have time for civility right now.
Yeah, they're happy to help.
But yeah, I just want to like know when he says like don't take one every 6 hours, and if you take too much, you explode. Like I want to know what he means by that and why that happens.
Sure.
And I also want to know like if we can figure out more what its chemical composition is, and if it's like a latent release over 6 hours that's doing this in your brain, like if there's a way that we could replicate that more safely, or if we can't do that, like figure out like some hack, like you know you can take Advil and Tylenol together, and then they like are both fever reducers. So I don't know if there's it's like, oh yeah, if we take this and like a zinc shot, it'll be safer. Whatever the thing we figure out is, that would be
If you
great.
take this and just keep eating onions.
Right.
Uh,
Like if that's the thing, great.
So cool. So you're going to start doing that, doing clinical trials on this experimental drug with Dr. Vizan. Percy, did you want to be doing anything?
They have to be eoxy
Yes.
and onions, though.
I would like to be hooking up my dark vision capacitor eyeballs that I got into just like goggles or visor, something that doesn't require me actually replacing my eyeballs. Something I can just put on and then turn on and have like a heads-up display.
Sure. That's totally possible. I'd take an engineering check, and if you would like to allow this to take quite a while, you could take 10 or 20 on it,
I can take 20 on it. It's fun.
Cool. which would
You can
make it
also have
what?
Bria assist you if you want, because she's really good at engineering and she's good with
with
prosthetics.
20, then it would become 32.
So you think it might take you a couple days,
That's fine. I'm not in a
but
rush.
something to do.
We got a long way
Yeah,
to go out to
if
Arquan.
Vazana
So.
has time, help me
You
out,
guys all
or
come back
anyone
inside,
else?
and you're ready to go. So you got all your stuff set up, but everybody came back in, and yeah, what happens now? Well, the ship is as good as it's gonna get.
I want to do more thorough interviews with Kel and Tench because they came later.
Sure.
And I know that I had already kind of questioned Gesh and Sek, and I'm not really looking to get that much new information. I'm just talking to them to make sure that what we did get from Gesh and Sek lines up with what they tell us as well.
Give me a sense motive check.
Sure. I can do that. Let me roll my thing first, and then I'll find my things to add. Okay, and then plus.
Pours out a bucket of dice.
Yeah, I just need like a button that does like and add all the shit in the world. But it's fine. And then I roll this, and then I add
You should make a macro.
should, and then I add 8 to that. So I don't know.
So
a lot.
26.
Yeah,
They check out. Their stories line up.
the math checks out. We're good. Cool. Because like everything we got basically from Gesh and Sek is that like they woke up out of these like pods. Maybe like they heard that from other people, but they don't really remember anything too far before when they were in these fighter jets. Did we get a chance to look at the logs from those?
Oh, don't you have a thing that lets you know if someone is under a mental effect?
I do. If I interact with a creature for longer than a minute, it's called Keen Observer.
Mm-hmm.
I am able to discern whether or not they are under any kind of mental effect.
All 4 of them had their memories erased at one point.
Okay, interesting. So that's why they can't remember.
Sorry,
can I get a couple of them? Oh, sorry.
Are kobolds like oppressed in the galaxy?
Give me a culture check.
Okay.
Oh, can I do that too?
Sure.
And then plus, I have to roll another dice. 23.
Both of you know that kobolds on Triaxis, the dragon planet, primarily, especially under the chromatic dragons, slaves.
Yeah, they're like a slave race.
Metallic dragons, still the lowest class.
Dragons are mean.
So as you guys are all getting stuff buttoned up, Vizov comes up into the bridge, and to whoever is there, he'll say, "Cargo's tied down. We're ready to go into the drift whenever you are."
That was awesome and quick.
It's been like 2 hours now.
So
Yeah, quick.
So their stories line up, but all of them have had their memory wiped at some point. Can I get any of them to agree to do like a CT scan equivalent, something like that?
You find it's very easy to tell them to do stuff.
Okay.
They'll just do it.
I'd like to have some scans done and look at those with Dr. Vizan.
Yeah,
and
Dr. Vizan can get on those.
I'm just curious, is this something that happened once, or is this something that happened a lot? Because that's concerning.
Cool.
And what did we figure out about the pills, or did we not?
You have only just started your analysis.
Oh, okay. Let me know if you need me to do something. So,
I will.
Yeah. Have all had their memories wiped at least once.
Okay.
Cool.
So who's on the bridge right now?
I'm actually probably also in the lab.
Cool.
Um,
Vizov goes in the bridge and there's no one in there. He hunts around for a while and he finds Percy, and he tells you that we're ready to go into the drift.
Excellent. Did we run this by Pip? Is he all good?
He says, "I can't find him. He's probably working on something somewhere."
I'm still
Pip.
outside.
Hey,
No, I'm back in now, right?
Yeah, everybody's back in now.
don't want to take off with you, in some exhaust port. Are we good?
Well, yeah, I'm good. I think one of the kobolds might be though.
Probably get him out.
Report.
Sound off.
And they're like,
Gosh, tech.
Gesh, tect. And then the third one doesn't say anything.
Fourth, you mean?
Sorry, the fourth one doesn't say anything. You don't hear a fourth
It's
report.
number 3. That's why it's confusing.
Yeah.
Computer, where's I don't remember any of their names.
Gesh, Sek, Tench, Cal.
That one. Where's that one?
Kel?
And then it's like,
Where's Keenan?
Kel is currently lodged in Exhaustport C.
He's exhausted.
Three of
You
you,
really
get
getting
him out, and then report to me on the bridge.
You watch, on the exterior cameras. And then they come inside.
Right, I think we're good.
They come inside. They get strapped down on the little mesh bench that you've installed for them.
Oh, and I set up quarters for them last time, I think. I wanted to work on that.
Sure, like dog beds in the engine room.
No, like little bunks in one of the other rooms. I don't remember.
Whose room?
Right.
Every room is taken.
Right. And I have all my plants. There's not really room in there. Claude, you have room.
Do you want 4 roommates?
I mean, I'm pretty big. I don't got that much room ever.
They
Alright.
can just sleep. No, we're gonna hang hammocks. We're gonna hang little hammocks, little teensy hammocks up in the engine room with me.
All right,
Oh,
fine.
there we go. The engine room. Yeah, see that I like that plan.
I want you to know that I don't like this.
Just shove them in the wall in the cargo bay.
The other
Smuggling cobalt.
Junko.
The other thing that I want to know, the other thing I'd like to get out of my lab time about these pills is like, should we only give like half of one to the kobolds?
We'll
Like,
have time for that. on
Like
the
dosing. I just want to know everything.
journey. You will.
Maybe after.
Who
Good.
is
There are your pets
plotting
and
the
you feel
course to Arquand?
Probably Percy.
I can do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Percy, give me a piloting check.
Great.
To astrogate.
Not
Easy.
amazing.
You were not so to your knowledge, Arquand was the destination of a small settlement expedition. Some settlers went out, not a big expedition, tried to settle, went crazy, and then some
So
came
they
back.
say.
Most supposedly died.
Supposedly.
And this was about 60 years ago, 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah. So I'm expecting a full-grown utopia by the time we get there.
When you go and you start doing plugging in the coordinates, you're having to you're expecting to guess where Arquand is, not having good numbers.
Hashtag if it's not in our records, it does not exist.
But as you start doing
Perhaps
it,
the archives are incomplete.
you detect a drift beacon signal, very, very faint. Where Arquand should be.
This is fascinating.
Can
Hashtag
I hail them? Is there enough information that I can identify the vessel?
The way drift beacons work is they're like buoys. That
Oh,
you
this
can-
is okay.
Yeah, that you can navigate to easily. They're usually put places where lots of people like to go.
Got it. Yeah, let's go. See, someone set that up. Clearly, people are here
It's very, very weak.
because they don't
What
want
do you think it
people.
is?
They don't want too many people to find it.
So you go into the drift. The portal cuts a hole in space. And you fly in and it collapses behind you. And Percy, roll me 5d6.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Uh-oh.
It's going to take you think, 18 days to get
Dang.
to Arquand.
So you definitely have those 2 days to install your eyeballs
I do, for sure.
for free.
Would anyone like to do anything on these, almost 3-week journey?
Yes.
So,
Other than
Percy, you do your eyeballs.
Oh yeah.
You have this cool little visor now that is not just dark vision goggles.
can I try it out,
Absolutely.
Percy? Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I
It
want
works
to
great.
do tricks where I wear them and then sneak in on Claude when he's napping with all the lights off still, and then just poke the bear but poke the bull.
Drag feet.
Cool. Great. But yeah, in addition to the analysis I want to do on the pills, I'd just like to spend some time boosting group morale. I want getting to know the kobolds, trying to help develop their personalities since they don't have a lot of memories, and that can make that difficult. And I don't want them to feel isolated. I want them to feel part of the team.
Being an icebreaker.
People.
I want to do a bingo night, something low stakes where it's not about how many arms you have or how small you are to fit into the engine room, just something to do some team building.
You guys have a
No.
movie night. There's a game night.
Yeah, I want
Cruise
to
director Maynala.
Yeah, I want a costume party thing. So there's a theme and we all have to come as I don't know, people from California or something. Something that's not going to work.
It's like a tiki night.
Yeah, and I change all the lighting and yeah, and I play music.
Give me Just a charisma check.
Just a charisma. What if it sucks? No. I feel like I should take 20 because it's over the course of almost 20 days.
Give me a charisma check for the first one.
Okay. That's fine. I'm really worried it's gonna go badly. Hang on. What's my chaw? Is 4. Alright. So add 4 to that.
17. All right.
Yeah.
The first night goes pretty well, and as you get into the swing of things and you start taking 10 and 20, people start to have a good time. You know, you're able to figure out what people like. You know,
What
yes.
I'd like this to end in is an end situation in which I can't remember the guy's name. I think it's Visok. It has 4 arms.
Mhm.
I would like to end in a situation where there is Go-Go Galaxies playing and Visok is spinning 4 different tumblers of drinks ready to serve.
Oh yes, that
I
happens.
want us to get to that point as a group.
I think by the end of this trip, you're there.
Great.
Zoff is absolutely bartending for everybody.
Good. That's
They're
my
heavy
goal.
pours.
Good.
You also learn a ton about the meds. You learn that you can overdose on them.
Yeah.
And they're releasing sort of like psychic blockers into your brain that make it so
Okay.
that psychic stuff doesn't work on you. You find that if you are taking them, you can't telepathy with people.
Great. But yeah.
And
Eye blockers.
yeah, they're psi blockers.
Tai Chi blocks. Oh my god, I can't do any of my moves.
That's what you learn. And taking a bunch of them can like permanently damage your brain.
And do I figure out good dosing we could try for the kobolds?
Yeah, you figure out good dosing for them.
Great. Sounds good. I just and like with all this social event stuff, I just want to like learn more about the crew so that they don't feel like crew.
Who do you want to learn more about? Tell me 2 people.
Dr. Vazan, we work really closely together, so I'd like to know more about them. And who else is on this ship? Let me look. I don't have my I'm looking for I have a list of all the crew right now.
While we're looking, does anyone else have anything they'd like to do on this long drift journey?
I want to look into that heat sink a little more. If we can't figure out how it's made or what it's made of, that's okay. But I want to see if we can try to make some kind of stealth system that absorbs our own heat, since this thing's so much more efficient than the other heat sinks that we're used to.
Give me an engineering check or a physical science check.
Cool. Sounds great.
A physical science check, you'll find out how it works. An engineering check, you might be able to replicate it.
16. I might need some of Vizan's help. Dr. Vizan, sorry.
Sure. Dr. Vizan makes it, and you've got an 18. You're not a physicist, but you do some analysis on one of these things, scraping off a little sample, and you see a couple of elements that you don't recognize.
What the hell are these things?
They've got really weird atomic properties. It's not decaying, it's stable. Mm-hmm.
And it's an element that we don't know.
Yeah, you don't really have the equipment to understand its atomic structure or whatever, but the computer's I don't know what this is.
Something weird going on here. We should do a series of basic tests on that, just really fundamental tests to see what kind of matter it is.
Sure.
And work on that first before we worry about stealth systems. Let's just do that over the entire journey.
You just do a bunch of basic science on it.
Yeah, take 20.
Yeah, you should have Percy help physical science, so.
For sure, yeah.
I reduced the DC by 5.
Pip, anything you wanted to do? You get your kobold crew all set up. They love their hammocks.
I want to basically get to the point where they're a well-trained regiment of
Mini engineers.
For the commands.
They respond well to that.
Excellent.
They like having some structure. They like that you give them structure, but also don't threaten to kill them. This is ideal. And they're good. You can just be like, and they just, and they're there.
Oh my god!
Um, cool. So
Uh,
you hang out with Dr. Vizan.
Yeah,
They are very cagey about their past.
for 18 days. That's like pretty
Both
well
for
lived.
18 days, but
Wow.
uh,
All I
you
had was
are a
like
master.
researcher,
You're,
MD, well educated.
you're a master at drawing things out of people. You find out that they, um,
Wait, how young are they? Is that when they lost their memory?
The
18
kobolds?
What's the 18 days? Sorry, what are you talking about? 18
How
days?
long the journey is.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
the Vizan, Dr. Vizan, you find out has these scars from some kind of operation on themselves that they don't really like to talk about.
Okay.
And that's apparently a very touchy and a big thing for them.
Okay.
Um,
Do I get any sense of how long ago that was? Like, was it when they were a juvenile or
it was when they were a juvenile.
Okay.
And it's not doesn't seem like a traumatic thing. It seems like a this is my business, I don't want to talk about it thing.
Do they seem embarrassed about it?
Not embarrassed, but it's like really private.
Okay. That's fine.
And Vizan is already a very private person.
Mm-hmm. Where
Like you might get Vizan talking, and then even if you kind of get close to it, Vizan like stiffens and clams up and like
Yeah. Do I learn more about like where they went to school, where they were educated?
yeah, they talk stories about that, educated kind of all over.
Okay.
But after those 18 days and the final tiki party night where Vizov kind of gets way too drunk and also gets everybody way too drunk, the next morning, it's time to drop out of the drift.
Cool. And then, did you say I could choose two people or just Vizon?
Two people, but who else would you like?
It was Visoff, so.
Vizov is an open book.
Cool.
He tells you a bunch of stories about working on pirate ships. He loves guns. He gets really drunk, and you find out he's got a huge crush on you.
Yes. Gold!
But
Okay.
he's way too sweet to make a move.
Okay, well, I will wait and then I will initiate later. Sounds good. This has been excellent.
Wonderful. Like, he's so easy to read, it's ridiculous.
What we're going for. Sounds good.
You guys get to your destination. Everybody's ready. Pop out of the drift back into real space. Seeing, a variety of strange things in the drift. Psychic space whales, chunks of what look like cathedrals. At one point, you see a giant, perfectly smooth crystal sphere that's maybe a quarter-mile across. And inside, you see sort of refracted images of like pastoral scenes, and that just floats by.
What?
This
I've
is
always
why I
wanted
want
to
to
see
like.
the space whales.
I want to just
Is it
study the
Oma?
drift someday. Like, I just want to be a drift scientist. There's just so much we don't know.
Yeah, I think Oma are the names of the whales, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're so cool. Oh, I've always wanted to see them. Oh my god, I take pictures of all the whales.
We saw them before, remember? And I took sketches.
Oh, did we? Yeah. That's right.
They're still Club's
I
favorite.
still think
They're
they're really
still
cool.
really cool.
Are they emitting any UV radiation? I can see them with my goggles. Does it look cool?
Oh,
Do
it
they
looks
look like
super
one
cool.
of those like blacklight walls?
It looks really cool.
But no, look
As
at
you
this, look
come
at
out
this.
of the drift,
Oh, damn.
you're right on the border of this nebula cloud,
Oh. Do we...
and there's the beacon right in front of you.
I was gonna say, what's the beacon look like? What shape
It's
is
sort
it?
of
Yeah, what,
it's sort of a,
not nationality. Space version of nationality. It's not species either. I want to know what.
Planetary origin?
Yeah.
it looks pretty Pact Worlds. It looks pretty Absalom.
Okay.
It's sort of a roughly oblong, dark, spherical structure with these pilings that come off with sort of dishes and sensors out at the ends, seemingly to get away from some kind of interference that might be in the middle. And there's lights on it that blink.
Can we see like
And there's a thin cable, like a physical cable, plugged into it that goes back into this nebula cloud.
Is there like a serial number or anything on it where we could identify like year that this was put out? Like there's a international
Yeah,
database where it's
yeah.
like if you know the satellite's number, then you can look it up. And
Yeah, it's got a big number on it. It's got a big identification number on it.
I'd
And
like to look that up.
Pip can just
Dark satellite.
so you can look it up.
Oh, okay.
Pip, you look at it, and you know how to read these,
Mhm.
like the numbers
Yeah,
and
the-
letters. And
Do we
The
just-
first 4 are the starbase, and the next 4 are the, the manufacturer, and the next 4, yeah.
and then the letters and the so you know it was made on Epsilon Station by such and such drift buoy company, and then the last ones are when it was installed, and about 55, 60 years ago.
All right.
Let's say
Wow.
57 years ago.
57 years ago. Wow. Yeah, so, like,
Okay.
Manal's like, I'm going to look that up, and I just read it off.
Yeah.
Epsilon
And Manoa-
Station, drift buoys are us,
Yeah,
Right.
57 years ago.
You made that up.
and
No,
Manala,
he's
you
right.
Google it. You look. You space Google it. You look it up.
Scoogle.
And Scoogle, Spoogle.
That's
you look
a
it
Please,
little-
up.
guys, it's the
No.
future. They use Bing.
Oh my God! Stop! Ow!
look
You
it
hurt
up.
my soul.
And
Just
it
like
doesn't come up.
Spider-Man.
It doesn't come up.
Nope.
Pip, how do you know that? It's not in any database.
I explain the thing about the first 4, and then the next 4, and then the...
All right.
Like the numbers
well,
mean something.
I learned
Yeah,
that
we
social
do-
security numbers are like that today. The first 5 are just like where you got your social security number.
Prove it. Tell us the first 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, damn it!
I
Um.
have Claude take space photos of this buoy then,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I'll send the data
As,
to the.
as you're trying to connect
Space internet.
to do that search, your connection is really tenuous.
Oh.
It's really slow. You're really far away.
gotta-
Usually, drift buoys can bounce signals, but this one doesn't seem to be working quite right.
I mean, it can bounce the signal. It's just the lag is so bad that
Mhm.
you'll get it tomorrow.
Pip, can you give me a computers check, or Percy as well?
My ping
Well.
is 17 billion.
Percy, assist me
milliseconds.
with some computers.
Yes, sir.
Pip,
31.
it should be slow.
Mhm.
It should not be this slow.
If I look out the window, do I see the drift buoy?
Yes, right there.
Okay. This is
Uh,
this whole
can
like
I-
psychic. I'm thinking. Jake is thinking it's psychic. That's what we expect, and so that's what we're seeing. But
Oh my
it's not
God,
really
we're already on
there.
the planet.
But I'm not. I'm not psychically attuned, so
No, it's right there. You
Right.
seem to be seeing the same thing as Manala.
Weird.
Can we? Yeah. So if we
If
take
you
a
make it, if
space-
you try to connect, yeah, the ping is too high.
so if we take a space photo, I'll still send it to send out to like space internet, like hashtag
Like
Xeno.
sending, it's gonna take like a day.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, but the point is, if we ever get out of this nebula and try to send it, it should connect right away and be off.
Yeah, you're not in the nebula yet, but yeah,
Well, out of this area, I guess, area of effect of whatever the hell's going on.
and it's got
I have
a,
everybody drug up
Mhm.
now,
cool.
Yeah, totally.
and
It's got a.
yeah.
It's got the power cable, which is weird. These usually are self-contained, but it's got this weird power cable that leads back into the nebula.
yeah, that's super fucking weird. Can we the
I did
beacon
not
that's
take the pills.
the beacon that's dinging? Is there like is it dinging for like a distress signal or anything in particular, or it's just there as a marker?
It's just a navigation aid.
Okay, perfect, great. So yeah, I'll have everybody drug up, and then sync watches to be like it expires at blah.
Cool.
Uh,
I'm not taking the drugs. I am pretending to take the drugs.
and then I offer the helmet to anybody that wants it.
I feel like you should have it. You're the most psychically attuned,
I am, but I wanted to offer it to everyone
therefore
else.
the most susceptible.
Do I trust this helmet? Moment of truth. Guess I forgot to do tests on the helmet. I'll wear the helmet. Just see what happens. So
Cool. You wear the helmet. As far as we know, everyone takes the pills.
yeah.
Dact
As
is on
far as we
sensors, and he says, "Our sensors are having trouble penetrating the cloud. I can't really see what's in there, but I can tell you there's a lot of energy in there."
There's no cloud. There's just other people's computers.
No,
alright.
I mean yeah, but like that, the nebula. Not where I keep my music.
I'm gonna say
Music, sure.
I'm gonna say Percy, Pip, over comms. Percy, Pip, looks like you're up. Let's take her in slow.
Beep beep beep.
Nice and slow. You enter the cloud, and something is like crackling off of your shields. And you all, at the same time, get this horrible headache. And like everyone kind of, ow, 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 ow.
Oh, my scar, he's near.
Ah, what is
And,
that? Is that a
and
sound?
Dak,
What the heck?
and
What's
it's kind of like tinnitus inside your brain.
Oh my god, this is horrible.
And Dak says, the nebula's causing feedback with the shields. I'm trying to modulate. And he, types furiously for a second, and then the headaches subside.
Ooh, God.
Daft, remind us to make you a martini later.
I don't want one. My head already hurts.
Yeah. That's for the after hurting.
He puts the data up on the screen, and he says, the radiation in the nebula seemed to be interacting with the shields and causing that.
All right.
Should be fine now, though.
It's good to know. How do we
Shields
know
are
it's not
still
gonna
up,
come
right? We're
back?
not getting ready.
Shields
We're not
are
shielded.
up, and he just changed. He modulated their frequency to not sting your brainstem.
Yep, exactly.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's nice.
You guys can see there are navigational buoys running
Throughout.
along that cable, leading you to something.
I feel
All
like
the
early and
breadcrumbs?
lost right now.
Yeah, we feeling Hansel and Gretel right now? Let's do it.
Yeah.
They're like beep 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 beep, little flashy lights.
Goes out to the looking glass station.
Do we have any probes to send out or no? Like, not the way we're going, just like around. Okay.
You have no probes.
That's okay. That's something that is on the list then for future buys. So, sounds good.
So you follow the buoys.
Unless somebody else has a better idea.
So
Okay.
Percy, you're driving.
Oh my god, guys, we're gonna get there, and it's gonna be the most dangerous game. There's gonna be an eccentric guy who's lived here for 50-some years, and he's gonna be like, "Yes, I come here for the hunting," and we're gonna be like, "Hunting what?" And he says, "You'll see."
Did you read this weird story in 4th grade?
I did not.
Was it? He was like a specific kind of Russian, right? Because I remember that's where I learned about that region in Russia. I was like, I've never heard of that.
It's weird. So you take it in, following the beacons. The ship is picking them up and able to follow them. They're standard navigational aids.
He was a Cossack.
Oh, Cossacks
Oh, the
is also
Cossacks.
what
Big hats. That's the big hat guys.
well, it's also what
And horses. Don't forget the horses.
what's Tolstoy? He has a bunch of stories about Cossacks. They're really good, actually.
I just know it from Charge of Light Brigade. But anyway,
Sorry.
space.
Oh,
Woo!
I know it
you-
from a
Russian
real-time
thing.
strategy game. Cossacks.
Dak says, I'm detecting another nebular event horizon. I think we're coming out on the other side, maybe? And as you keep following it, you go through a very, very strong magnetic field. Pass through it. The ship kind of shudders slightly.
All right.
And now out of the view screen, it's no longer a nasty nebula. It is this beautiful looking planet down below you.
Hello?
It's got these sort of deep, to quote the Odyssey, wine dark seas. The land is sort of also these sort of deep colors, and the only light that's being cast on it is from the nebula, where there'll be sort of these streaks of lightning and other sort of this glow that bathes the planet in this warmth. And also you see the cable also comes out onto here to a power station of some kind. It seems to be some kind of energy collector.
Based on the magnetic field that we just exited and everything that was happening in the nebula, does it make sense now why this would be a tethered set of buoys, or are we still not clear
This
on that?
does make sense because the power cores inside them would be interfered with in the nebula.
Okay, cool.
So they've got direct power, and they're just floating on this power line.
Yeah.
This is a
this
very
seems-
cool image.
So something's still powering them.
Yeah, this energy collector here. It sort of looks like a big box or shape with these sort of panels on it that seem to be collecting energy from something.
From the nebula, probably.
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 Um,
All right, cool.
And the
Microwaves coming off the-
magnetic field is coming from the planet. This is an extremely powerful magnetosphere that's keeping the most of the radiation pushed away, and the nebula pushed away so that this planet can exist.
Interesting.
This rogue planet can chill in here without a star. You also see, on sensors, you pick up a station with a single large freighter docked.
So
Oh, go ahead.
you said it's a rogue planet. Is the nebula bright enough that it's like daylight on here, or is it dark
It's
on this planet?
dim. It's like dusk.
Okay.
It is bright. You can see, but it's dim light.
So station with a
Dude.
freighter docked. Okay.
It's like my ideal planet. Honestly, because I hate extreme light. But I'll, over comms to Pip and Percy, because I can't telepathic anymore because I'm on the drugs.
I'm on
Say,
drugs.
Yeah, I said, should I open a hailing frequency?
Absolutely.
I hail the docked freighter.
No response.
Try the station.
Busy signal. Like, please hold. Automated.
Someone left it off the hook.
Feels like it. All right. I say no response. All right. I'll continue to send, friendly greetings, say who we are, and that we're explorers.
Okay.
A scientific exploration vessel.
Broadcasting. Percy, you're on your navigational controls, and you see the computer go blip, big red triangle with an exclamation point, and it says, "Warning, you're in violation of the Safer Settlement Act. Arquand," it's clearly like an insert place here, "has been designated off limits to settlement or scientific exploration without express, permission from the Pact World such and such bureaucracy for safe space travel."
See,
Jake,
Cloud, this is how you know you found something good.
Jake,
Yeah, look what they're hiding.
make us a fake certificate.
What?
Make us a fake certificate.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
what this is. It's like, you don't have the permits for this, and we're like, but
I want
This
to.
is an
Authorization
automated
code.
message.
Just
This is an
hack the
automated
authorization
It was
code.
an automated message, but if you had authorization, they wouldn't want to send the automated message to you. So there's obviously like a way to respond to the automated message that'll turn it off, and like I want to respond with a forged certificate.
Sure, give it a shot.
So here's my thinking for this forged certificate.
I was
So-
thinking like web page certificate. when I
Exactly,
heard
I'm talking about certificates like that. So certificates are signed by a certificate authority, and it's been long enough, and they would have had to plan for this because they knew it was going to be a long time. That certificate authority is probably expired, and you have to be signed by a new certificate authority. So I'm going to mimic a certificate authority with all the same credentials, but a date in the future, like for its compared to when this thing would have happened, so that it'll believe if it's only checking the things and like has no way to check if this route is legit, then it will follow down and be like, well, yes, I guess mine is expired. This must be the new one.
Sure, give me a computer check.
All right.
See if you can trick this.
You
this
can say
little
whatever you want.
buoy.
Just give me a good computer check.
Bob, do you want to assist?
23. If Klob assists me, it'll be 25.
25. I can't fail the assist. Didn't fail the assist with the 1.
You forge the certificate, you send it off, and it sort of like thinks for a little bit, and then it says, "Authorization certificate received. Broadcast, reaching out, like for commencing handshake to confirm with headquarters," and then it says, "Please hold station for," and then like this number for how long it's gonna take, and it's like off the side.
It's like weeks.
Yeah, like something stupid.
That's amazing.
Because its signal is so bad, it is having that much trouble talking to the Pact Worlds.
This is an intense nebula.
And then as you read more in the fine print of this alert, you realize it has this buoy cannot enforce anything. Like, it's just here to tell you that you're breaking a law.
We've come to planet DSL.
Can I
It's terrible.
That was the noise in our heads.
It was the dial-up as we came.
Is there I know we don't have probes, but do any of the ship sensors seem to work on detecting like what the nebula was comprised of or anything like that?
Totally, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Variety of normal materials, normal stuff you'd expect, gases and dust particles you'd expect to find in a stellar nebula.
Yeah.
However, you're not. It's inconclusive right now where all this energy is coming from, but somehow it is a very high energy cloud that is
Okay.
somehow like psychically active.
So can like Manila, can you talk if it's psychically active? Can you talk to it a little bit, flap those antennas around or whatever you do?
It's not
I-
like someone talking, but it's the same sort of mechanism that Maynala uses to be telepathic, but just like static up to 11.
Right now I'm on the pill and I have this helmet on, but I'm wondering it's possible that if it's psychically active that it's sentient.
Percy, you're not medicated.
No.
During that brief moment, your headache was much more intense than everyone else's.
Oh,
And,
I didn't know that though. I just saw everybody else. I was like, oh, okay, I'm good.
Like yours, yeah, but and it wasn't like you weren't getting messages. It was just like static.
Ugh.
It was just unpleasant. Nails on a chalkboard in your brain.
It's not still doing it though.
No, it stopped.
Okay,
As soon as Dak did the shield thing, it stopped.
got it.
But yeah, I confirm what Klob is kind of thinking there, and I agree that it's possible, and we could potentially investigate it later.
Yeah.
I think we should go down to the station.
Yeah, he and I are talking about the clouds, though.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying for now. I think we should.
Yeah.
You feel
Now that we have
confident navigating us down there safely? Yeah, absolutely.
While we're on our way down, can we run some tests to make sure breathable air, low enough levels of radiation that we'll be
Is
safe?
it a Class M planet?
Exactly.
It is a really nice Class M planet.
Great.
I'm still doing my vac suit.
You see,
Gravity is 1.0003 Gs.
it's like a little higher than
Oh,
Earth.
nice.
It's a little higher than what you're used to. It's nice. It's perfectly comfortable. As you get down to the station, you can scan it. You detect no life signs, but it's on. It works. And it's sort of a central ring, and then a central pod, a secondary ring, and then a tertiary ring, and then that's where all the docking stations are. And there's only one occupied by this freighter.
Are there any? Pip, can you tell what kind of ship that is? Jake.
Lincoln, can I tell what kind of ship it is?
Give me a
It'd be a freighter.
culture
Is it
check.
a culture check, which I reduced the DC by 5 because it's about ships.
Yep.
This one might not be as good because I don't put points in culture. Hey, 23.
Nice.
23. You're like, I had a model of one of these when I was a kid. It's a Halcyon 38.
Halcyon 38. Yep. Those are classic ones. It's like when you see an El Camino.
It's a throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a big freighter, but like it's pretty. Like they cared about the lines back then.
Mm-hmm.
This one looks like it's been stripped for parts.
Damn shame.
But
You
a
hate
great
to see it.
fixer-upper. This would be a fun project.
Absolutely.
It's like 3 times the size of your ship.
Okay.
Cool. That's what you see. Would you like to? That's the only docking place that's occupied. All the other ones are open and are broadcasting on their very short-range signals that they're like, "Hey, you can dock right here."
Okay, I'll dock on one of those.
You bring the nose in. Shh, docking clamps grab on, pull you in, and you're connected. The forward airlock is now connected.
Great.
And over the ship's comms, a very crunchy, like a Wiimote, welcome to Arquand.
Zing! Glitchy Zelda.
Crunchy Falco, mission complete. So yeah, that's what happens.
I've this a little bit ago. I've been messing with this stuff, and I've figured out a way that I can get my visor to detect tech like permanently. So I just always have that on.
You've got like the runes in your visor.
Yeah, they're just like swirling around the outside and,
That's
and
cool.
creating like a portal of seeing for technology and battery powered things. So I'm like looking around for anything that's still operational and powered, anything big batteries.
You see a bunch of stuff inside the station that is still powered. You see batteries that have burnt out from age, but a lot is still working.
Some stuff's still working, but
Maybe,
it looks like not maintained. I don't think anybody's here.
Maybe 2/3 of the stuff you see still working.
That's what they want you to think.
Computer, scan the compound for life signs.
They said
0
no.
life signs detected.
Sorry,
That's
did
what
George
they
do
want you to
that?
think.
I mentioned it, but I think you missed it.
Sorry.
It doesn't even look like any robots or anything going though. I mean, it's all half busted. Well, time to take a walk.
Yep.
Let's go in.
Explore mode.
Your door opens. Your outer door opens. Chunk! The station door grinds open. And you hear that crunchy music again. And inside, there's flickering lights, things knocked over, stuff, total disrepair.
Getting a lot of
Otherwise,
Aperture Science vibes.
very Aperture Science, a little like Fallout-y. For the most part, though, nothing looks damaged. You don't see weapon damage. You don't see signs of struggle. You're in sort of this long ring, the docking ring right now, and there's some arrows on the floor that that are colored, and they're like dining, entertainment, visitor center, station administration.
We should.
We should go to administration and check the logs.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the visitor station too to see what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and plus, you might be supposed to sign in.
That's true. We need our name tags.
You need your lanyard.
Just
So you
case by
follow-
case basis.
Do you want to split up, stay together?
Stay together.
Stay
Yeah.
together, sounds.
Cool. Where are you going? Which area are you following?
We can check visitor center first.
Okay.
Cool. You follow the
I'll try
visitor
to about the name
center.
tags.
You're looking around. You see there's these like beautiful murals of these pastoral scenes, except they're kind of unusual with these craggy skies, craggy cliffs, dim skies, and deep purple plants.
Does it
Very
look
nice.
like any of the things that we saw on the crystal structures in the drift?
No.
Okay.
It's unfamiliar to you. You get to the visitor center, and there's like facts about life on Arkwand, and a place to sign in the visitor registry, and like an informational video, and then this big display of what the station will look like when it's done. Maybe 3 times bigger, more rotating concentric rings in different directions.
In the
and
corner, it says like the estimated date, and it's like 50 years ago.
yeah, and then and a space elevator to the surface.
That's cool.
Can we watch the video and also I want to be like using Space Cam.
I want to see the video of Patrick Warburton walking in and be like, "Hello and welcome to Arkwand."
That's absolutely a thing you can boot up. It's corrupted. These old
Hello and welcome to Arkwand.
yeah, these old data spheres they used to use, they go bad if you don't take care of them right.
Your stay here should be a pleasant opportunity to.
It's totally that, and he comes out, "Welcome to Arkwand," and he says, "Your journey here has probably been a hard, but we're glad to have." And then it just cuts to like 5 minutes later, after it's done introducing, and he's pointing at like a statue of somebody.
John Hammond?
It's like a guy, a human male, in sort of what looks like like sort of explorer's gear, and he's looking kind of regal on a statue, and he says, uh, you know, like, this pioneer, and then it just cuts again to farther later, and it's him touring this sort of like looks like a colony with a bunch of people around, and he says, "We're happy to add you to the Arquan family. Uh, uh, Make sure you stop by station administration to get your landing pass.
Pass.
Good luck
pass,
out there."
Pass. Pass.
Blue screen.
Yeah.
Well, we should get our landing pass.
Yeah, landing pass might be, don't want to get towed.
True.
Good call.
I'm sure the authorities are on it here.
Yeah, they seem
Anyway.
really, really up on that maintenance.
Yeah. Anyway, how about that administration area?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I was on our way. I make
There's a
this
gift
thing.
shop.
Oh,
I want to mark. I went to
Isn't
Arcon. All I got was radiation poisoning T-shirt.
I want the
You get like these tie-dye Arquan Nebula t-shirts.
if there's in the visitor center, I know there was the video, but if there was any like infographics on the walls or maps
Yeah,
or
there
any,
are. There's explaining sort of the ecology of the planet, that the heat and light from the nebula gives the planet energy, and that the plants down there are this deep purple to absorb as much of the light as possible.
great. Okay.
Um,
Cool.
and
Great.
there's these pictures of these very unusual looking fauna. Think very Avatar looking, sort of strangely shaped and bioluminescent, and
Yeah. Space cam. Photo.
you document all of this. I assume you're doing that, and Pip's drone is also documenting everything.
Yeah.
My whatchamacallit, my hacking tool thing also now
Your
has
custom
video
rig?
and audio. My custom rig now also has a video
You
and
guys are
audio
getting-
recording.
All kinds of data, all kinds of information.
Great.
You guys looking around more, you follow it to station administration, and as you're walking, you get this sort of impression. It's a very Chernobyl look. It looks like people just got up and left. Some places you see like food trays at tables. You see luggage just sitting somewhere, forgotten. You see what looked like the weirdest scene was Percy. You notice this old sort of little gaming console with a couple of controllers connected to it, sitting there plugged into the wall. The screen burnt out from having been left on.
Is the screen like burnt into the like pause menu?
Yeah, the pause menu was like burnt on there from someone who was playing and then left.
At least they paused it.
Never know when you can come
No,
back.
it's the game over screen because they didn't pause it.
Mm.
They just
Oh,
randomly left.
that's more ominous too. Game over, man.
Very strange. You get to station administration. You let yourselves in. It's a welcoming office space with nobody in it. Workstations with pictures of family, with personal effects, with things open, like clearly like a folder that was opened to be used and then is still there.
Is there a computer that still works?
Yeah, you could plug into something, use your own.
No. I'll plug the computer into a battery.
I'll take a computer's check to try to access their database.
Klob, you want to do this?
Sure, yeah.
I can
let's see
help.
how much we can rip off of this. Whew.
This is old. It's a really old architecture.
Nice.
This is
It's
a
a
Unix,
Unix
system.
I
I
know
know
He
this.
knows this. Percy's giving you that +2, 26. Excellent. It's old. This is the kind of stuff that like you might find in the basement of a university. And they're like, really? You guys are still using this? And they're like, we have been for 20 years. We're not sure how to stop. And you're able to access it. Again, highly corrupted. But you access, a ship manifest for all the ships that are coming and going. You access some communications between this station and somewhere else. You're not really sure.
This is probably the colonies.
Yeah, possibly the colonies, possibly somewhere back in the Pact Worlds, you find a roster of all the people who are supposed to be residents here and on the surface.
I'd like to copy over that document if we possibly can. I'll let
Sure.
Claude know.
You also have a list of, you have all those ships and their manifests. You have like name, captain, and company that sent it.
Anything that we can get off of this, I'd love to keep. But do any of those companies still exist or ring a bell?
As you look through them,
Are any of them Blue Ion?
give me a sense motive check, Manala.
Oh, sense motive. Can do. Glad I put a rank in that now because I rolled it a couple
Cracking
times.
into the conspiracies.
God, if this is sponsored by
And then,
Blue.
oh man, why am I rolling bad? And then let me add, I think that's also my one. Yep.
There's
I
been the
rolled.
logo in the corner on all of the videos, but we didn't recognize it because it's like the throwback logo for Blue Ion.
And then plus 9, so 8 plus 9 is 17.
You're not sure what it is, but there's something fishy.
I'm gonna ask Klob if he can copy over everything and then see if he can do an analysis later on this ship. I'll say something doesn't feel right about these documents and this information. I don't know if it's been doctored or what. I just have a feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we can try to see if we can do some forensics on it. I can even send it back to
Yep.
the crew.
The only kind of technical computer system that we have with us right now is like asshole, I guess, but
I've got a custom
not-
rig. I can connect to whatever you need.
I think it'd be worth going through this and just looking for something that's not matching up.
I can, yeah, sure.
I don't know, it just feels fishy.
I'll take a sense motive or computers check from Pip if you want to search this data as well,
Sense motive?
or computers.
I will do computers.
Because sense motive for Manala, because she's trying to like, what's the pattern?
What's happening?
Yeah.
I just rolled really poorly. It's not my fault. Yeah.
28.
Nice.
You're putting it in, and you're like building a spreadsheet with all the names, and it's like ship, captain name, parent company, connect like something like that. And as you go through, you realize you're starting to notice a lot of these companies are owned by the same company,
Oh.
like by like 4 or 5 companies. And then you go to the ship's database, and you realize those 4 or 5 companies are owned by like 2 companies, and those 2 companies are owned by 1 company, which is owned by a final big giant corporation. Which, as it's loading, you're like, don't be Blue Ion, don't be Blue Ion, don't be Blue Ion, and then it's not.
Do-do-do-do.
And you're like, oh, fuck.
Green particle.
Yeah, no,
We're
so it's
looking to
not Blue Ion.
rebrand.
I don't know how Pip feels about that, but it is not Blue Ion.
Who is it?
It is a company called
It's not green particle.
Future Construction Solutions.
Future Construction Solutions.
And they have this like old timey logo, and it's a construction company from Absalom Station.
That we've never heard of.
Club, you lived on Absalom.
Or have we?
I mean,
Club, you
I
you
lived
look
there.
at the logo, and it looks familiar, and you're like, you're sure you've seen that sign
It's
around, like coming soon, brought to you by,
Yeah,
and, like
exactly.
the construction sign. Like you're sure they're around.
They renovate things. There's like built construction sites, fences and stuff.
Jake, what's the company that always makes like that installation on like buildings? And you can see the logo, it's like printed on the insulation.
Oh, you
when,
mean
like,
the drywall?
Yeah, when like the building's like half
Yeah.
done.
Oh, I don't
It's
know.
just the repeating drywall
Yeah,
logo.
it's just
Yeah.
like it repeats their logo again and again. Apparently not effective enough for advertising that I remember it, but
Future
yeah,
Construction
it's like that.
Solutions.
Yeah, these are those guys.
Future Construction Solutions. Okay.
FCS. It's like it's an FCS, and then it's like a little ship that's like flying near it.
Yeah, and like the S is the
That's
back
the
of the
style.
S is like the
It's the
Yeah.
smoke trail from
end of
the
a plane.
It's very old timey. It's old school. Yeah, they're still around. You're pretty sure, but they seem to own every shell company that sent ships here.
Interesting. Are there any? So we had like the roster of all the people that were on the ships and stuff. Do we have any logs of the ships leaving and their cargo?
You have a lot of logs of them coming and going,
I'm
but
looking for like a mass exodus.
you don't see a mass exodus.
But there's only one freighter docked here.
There's one freighter docked here.
Strange.
It's called the Somnambulist.
Oh, that's a great episode of Angel with Jeremy Renner.
That's a really good episode in Witcher 3. There's a fun mission with a somnambulist, so all good things happening.
It's a great word.
Mm-hmm.
I could change it to something like the Feluminist.
Sleepwalker?
Nope, that's good.
A Feluminist is someone who collects matches. So it's called the Somnambulist.
Interesting.
Well, we can try boarding the Somnambulist and looking on there and see if they have any logs that clear things up. Maybe like they tried to communicate, send a message or something.
So the Somnambulist
Do we
is the
have
name
a
of the
manifest from the somnambulist in this data that we already have access
Poison
to, like the
38
one they docked?
fighter?
Yes.
Yeah, they docked. You have them docking towards the end of your database.
What?
Maybe 2 weeks before there's just no more data.
So this is all 57 years ago.
Mhm.
How many people were aboard that ship, and what kind of vessel was it? Was it commercial or personal?
25, crew of 25, a freighter. You think that crew of 25 was probably mostly people immigrating to the planet. And it says it's carrying, it just says prefab under cargo.
Interesting.
I'm good.
Just kicking things.
Ugh. I'll be right back.
Alex, don't worry. I know what it is.
Was there a like any sort of? Are there like a messaging system that relays through this computer? Like an outreach thing, like
Give me
distress calls we go through.
Sure, give me a computer check.
Beep, 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 beep. Nope. Club.
It's really heavily corrupted. You think if you had time to analyze all of this data and try to reconstruct it and try to fix some of the damage to these data cores, you'd have better answers. But right now, these machines are struggling. They've sat on for 57 years.
That's fair. Yeah. That's a pretty long time. There's probably so many Windows updates for them to do.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, should we check out the Somnambulist, or do you think we should check out outside?
We can go to the other ship. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
What does everybody else think?
I mean, what are we trying to find out here? Don't we kind of need to go down to the surface and examine?
We do, but we want to know why that ship is still here, and maybe what happened to people who were on board.
I was gonna say I would like to know where the fuck everybody went. Why they just sort of got up and left their luggage and their video games and the.
Even if we get no life signs right now, there could be something wrong with their sensors. There might still be somebody over there. We don't really know a lot about this nebula and how it's affecting all of our equipment yet.
Why would they need to be at the station when it's paradise down there, obviously?
Yeah, see, that makes sense to me.
Who needs video games?
Fair.
I need video games, but
I love
theoretically.
video games.
Do not take my video games.
Please no.
So you guys would like to go check out the Somnambulist?
Yeah.
You head over, moving carefully. Clob, as you come around a corner, you have a tail, right?
Yeah, I mean a small one, but yeah.
Like a swishy cowtail?
Yeah, it's like a 2-foot little swishy cowtail with a tuft on the end.
You turn and your swishy cowtail knocks something off of a table.
Damn it!
And it clatters to the floor, and sort of makes a mess. It looked like it was full of some strange, dry, dusty substance.
Well, luckily,
Maybe some kind of like food powder. And then you all hear like a little electric motor of something powering up and coming towards you.
Defensive stance.
Wait, where? From where?
From down the hall.
Oh, okay.
Do you detect any tech?
Yeah, is there any tech like over there?
Something with a medium-sized battery is moving towards you.
All right, yep. It's like a motorbike or something coming towards us.
It's probably just a protocol droid.
I don't know about that. Wait, nothing's coming at us yet, and there's nobody here.
Maybe it's a Roomba. You knocked
I
something
send
over.
Asshole down the hallway to see what it is.
As
Asshole being my automated self-sufficient hovering operator limited edition.
You send your drone out to go check on it. And as you do that, it comes around the corner and you all see it. You know, I'm assuming like weapons are out. People are ready to deal with it. And it comes around the corner and it's maybe 2 feet tall hemisphere with a big Future Construction Solutions logo on it. And it comes over to you, stops, turns, looks at the little mess Claude made. A little arm comes out,
See? Protocol droid. Told you.
cleans it up,
It's,
and then it turns and goes away.
it's the janitor droid. I like it. Let's follow it. Come on.
It's like the little Roomba.
I'm following it.
You follow it about maybe 40 feet, and it kind of goes into a little nook in the wall next to 2 others just like it. And it says, and this little like thing lights up on it that says charging, and it's got its full battery, and it goes like it only has 1 tick missing, and then that 1 tick just fills up and it stops.
This place isn't exactly working right, but these things can still get some charge.
There's definitely enough energy.
Yeah, don't make a spill far away though.
You keep going and you make it to the somnambulist. The sort of illuminated sign above it still flickers and says somnambulist.
It's like
And
a
it looks like you can
bar.
just let yourself in. Like it's a sign like saying this dock is for somnambulist.
Right.
Yours said Bluebird.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
Good.
airlock. Yeah. Open the door, go inside. It's totally dark inside.
Guys, I got this.
You
I
put on
find
your
the light switch.
night vision goggles and you're able to find a power switch and the lights off into the back. And you're in a cargo hold. And inside this cargo hold, it is packed with prefab homes, some excavation gear like back-end loaders, some trucks, a couple motorcycles, generally like the really cheap prefab stuff you'd need to build a small town. And there's looks like a ladder that will go up to the sort of living quarters on the top of this ship.
Is there like a... Like, this is a big enough ship, I feel like there could be like a fire escape readout of like the layout of the ship somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's just on the wall.
Or like the bridge be.
You think there's a ladder that will take you right up there.
Cool. Let's check it out.
You go up the catwalk. You get to the bridge. You open it up. It's musty in here from being locked so long. But it's fully functional, and there's no one in here. Also, as you look around at the panels, any panel that might have had anything useful in it has been torn out. Not really torn out, but removed on purpose.
Is the computer still here?
Yeah.
Boot it up.
Because the computer is integrated into the ship. You can't take it out.
Are you saying like there's no GUI basically? Like the computer is there, but there's no port where you can access it from?
Yeah, but Pip can plug in.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we have a monitor to plug in.
Make a computer check to access this.
Is it Pip?
All right.
Or you, through Pip.
This is Pip. He's plugging in.
Wow, the poor rolls today.
Yeah, no.
Pip, you plug in and you think you might be able to have... This thing is... Its data cores are really in terrible shape. Worse shape than the station. But you are able to pull out maybe some exterior camera footage from while it was here and a partial captain's log.
Ooh, captain's log, captain's log.
Captain's log.
It's mostly garbled, but some of the text you're able to pull out. The captain, she's talking about some event that she doesn't go into detail about. Assumingly, probably talks about it in the beginning of her log. We're evacuating. There's no time. I've donated the Somnambulist. Garbled, 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 garbled. Radiation. Something. Garbled, garbled. I wish we hadn't left so many on the surface. Garbled, garbled.
Bastards.
Secondary check on the radiation around here.
No radiation here.
It's possible that when we get down to the surface that our tech won't work as well, and we need to be prepared for that situation.
And if you look at the footage from the exterior camera, it's grainy and flickering, but it looks like ships rapidly leaving the station and flying away, taking off along that cable to get out of here.
But if we haven't met that many people that have been to Arquan, then something must have happened to them after that point, too. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes
Well,
sense.
see, this is obviously a decoy, so most of the people stayed on the surface. She admits that herself, right? And a few people go, and she's thinking, oh, it's not enough people to tell the story. Don't come to Arquan, it's too scary. But they had to send a few people out there to act like it's terrible. This is what's going on. Don't worry, guys. I got it.
Meryl has a bad feeling.
I've been
about
working
this.
on this theory for years. So far,
Pip, as
you're
tapped into the computer, you see that anything propulsion-y, like drift engine, thrusters, reactor, anything like that, has been removed.
Okay.
All of the power junctions have been removed, like all the power buffers that prevent overloads have been removed. And any low Z material, anything that would stop radiation has been stripped.
Okay.
Anything that would stop radiation. Okay.
Any radiation shielding this ship had is no longer here.
Well, and we did say when we came up on it that it looked like it had been stripped for parts. So,
Specifically, these parts.
yeah, something happened, and they needed to get
They
out of here.
donated it. Well, this is fascinating. I feel like we should go to the surface. Who's in, gang?
I mean, it's kind of. I'm kind of starting to doubt the whole thing you were saying, and I'm kind of worried.
Ah, please, come on.
I agree.
Doubt is good when you're going
Captain
against
said
the status quo.
There's something on the surface. This captain was worried. I mean, he was like
Percy,
guilty conscience.
what are we gonna do if we get down there and we can't get back to the ship?
Well, I guess we live on a paradise forever. Sounds pretty great to me, but why wouldn't we be able to get back to the ship?
It sounds like something went wrong with some of their equipment, and that's why they had to strip this for parts.
Yeah,
I mean,
I kind of agree. That's what it looks like to me.
seemed fine.
I look at Klob.
I can go down in the shuttle first if you want.
I'm looking at Klob, and I'm like, I don't want to go down there first. And then Percy says that, and I'm like, great.
Cool. I can take the fighter thing. Pip, you want to come? These guys are chicken.
All right.
Not chicken, but
I'm not psychically attuned anyway, and that's what we heard. It was psychic shit, so.
exactly.
Cool, so you guys go back to your ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the ship and monitor communications, I think is my plan. And sensors.
Go back to your ship. You get Pip and Percy in the little shuttle fighter. You go out, and you're heading towards the surface.
Does anybody from the crew want to go with them? Like, I
It
won't
only
stop
seats
anybody.
2.
Oh, okay.
Pip is small though.
It's like there's
You
like
wanna-
2 seats. It's like an F-18, like Top Gun.
So maybe you could bring a kobold.
Yeah, you could bring a kobold if you wanted.
That's okay.
But otherwise, it's just you two. You're flying. Manala, you're watching them get closer, closer, closer. And then you see a little alarm on your sensors as this field of radiation, that same psychic radiation, just blooms around the ship.
My ship?
Their ship. Once it
Okay.
gets more closer to the planet. This
Okay.
field of radiation just blooms around it.
What the?
Claude, did you see that?
Yeah,
and
what
you
is
start to lose a connection with the ship. Like your comms are not penetrating this stuff.
Clob, do what you can to boost the signal.
Don't try my best. Can I computers check to try to boost that? Is that something I can do?
Sure.
All right. I
Trying
got
different
a
frequencies could work or anything.
What'd you get?
25.
25. You start to boost the signal to the point where you can make out what they're saying. Percy and Pip,
Nice.
out of nowhere, this crazy radiation field. Pip, you see on the sensors, you get that headache again, which is, really not that bad. You don't know what everybody's being so weird about.
Right.
Because you have the drugs and you also apparently don't have the organ that lets you be telepathic. But you see on the sensors and your ship status stuff that this is playing havoc with all your ship systems. It's shorting out power couplings, power buffers, it's tripping all kinds of fail safes. It's bad. The ship's in this kind of weird cascade failure.
Okay.
And then you are distracted from that by looking up, and Percy is doubled over in pain.
Percy.
Percy, I don't know a better way to describe what is happening to you, except that something is rooting around in your head.
Ugh.
And there is not enough room in there for it
Welcome
to
to
grab
the
around and
Nordic.
explore, and for your psyche.
Awesome.
I need you to roll a d4.
Awesome. See if my head explodes.
4 is code for C4, so
Ooh.
go for
Cool.
4.
Now roll a d3.
Ooh.
You take 1. Your charisma is reduced by 1.
Fine, I wasn't using it anyway.
As this something is rooting around in your head.
I see Percy keeled over in pain,
That kind of half seizing.
and I pull up.
You pull up. Controls are not responding. The thrusters, you look out the window and the thrusters are like failing to fire properly. And you are starting to fall towards the planet.
Awesome.
You're in a flat spin headed out to sea. And now, Klob breaks through the radiation, and you can hear him talking.
Yeah, I think I might have gotten it working.
Mayday! Mayday!
Hey,
Thrusters
yeah, wait.
not responding.
Thruster's not responding.
Clob, can we do anything about that from here?
Do you have any ideas?
What do you mean? Do what? We can turn around.
Could we have the small ships from the kobolds, yes?
No, those are destroyed.
Oh, those were both destroyed? I thought we had them and then we were analyzing them.
They're in a state where they will not fly.
If there's something that we could launch to tip it back toward us, even if we lost whatever we shot out, that could work. But I don't know what we would shoot out. Hi, B. B is worried about you, Jake.
Klob, Maynala, you got anything?
Clob, any ideas? We don't have a tractor beam, and we
Nope.
can't beam people. I wouldn't want to do it in the radiation anyway.
No, I don't know. We can run. We can fly fast.
Pip.
Mhm.
You're falling towards the planet rapidly, and as you start to hit the atmosphere, the radiation cloud around you, that bloom, disperses. Systems still on the fritz.
Is the radiation gone because you try to get him back online?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a full shutdown,
Mhm.
right, so that everything can reset, and because we're just gliding,
Yeah.
and now rudders will work because we've got some
Yeah, you got some
actual
air.
drag. So I'm just gonna get us into a glide, do a full shutdown, count to 5, and then boot back up.
Give me
Right, we can have a
an
shutdown.
engineering check. And Percy, as that bloom disperses, your tunnel vision opens up again, and you're kind of back.
Bad roll, but 21.
21, pretty good.
It's the stress.
Pip, you're back there. The ship is like flopping around, and that's making it hard for you to do your job as you shut down the ship, and it's just the sound of air rushing past the canopy, and then start to turn it back on, and you're watching the sort of diagnostic, like crash report flow past you, and it looks weird. It doesn't look like something broke. It looks like something was going from system to system and turning it off.
Like
or
a
just
virus?
messing with it. Like the way
Okay.
you might examine like a device you don't understand.
I'm starting to
Full
think
shutdown.
there's something.
What's
to
this do? What's this do?
Full shutdown again.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to just I'm gonna like get us into a glide, lock the because it's like manual steering at this point. Lock the rudder in place, the stick in place, spin around,
The
and
yoke.
just grab the wires for the thing. And I'm gonna bypass all of the computer systems and just straight up like wire the engine to power and nothing else between it.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna fly this thing
Manual.
by
So you give
pure
me
by
an
hand.
You give me an engineering check. Percy, I need a piloting check now that you're back to kind of help Pip fly as he's your throttle.
Oh. Pip, did we spoil some G's there or something?
Pip, you've kind of pulled wires out. You've got access to sort of these bypasses, and you're kind of like basically trying to fly this thing by playing piano.
That sounds great.
It's like, when you watch like those people beat Dark Souls with a DDR pad. That's what you're doing right now.
Right. I can't
Fuck
see, so
that
I'm like,
thing.
Percy, call out when you need which thrusters. You've got the stick, right? Like, I've got the rudders by hand, and I'm just like, we need rear thruster. We need port thruster. It's like hot wiring.
Hashtag
It's a
we'll do it
struggle.
live.
But you are kind of flying, or rather, you're not falling so fast anymore. You have full comms back and forth between the ships and Maynalan Club. You can once again acquire them with sensors.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
What's your status?
What's going on up there?
We're
Controlled crash.
flying, sort of. I mean, a really loose definition of the word.
Falling with style?
I was about to say that.
You guys can see with your sensors, they are super gonna crash. Not nearly as bad as they were before. Crash is still gonna happen.
Crash is imminent. Prepare for
Guys,
impact.
I feel less likable and convincing.
The little computer is like, bleep, 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 pull up, terrain, and as you come through this sort of thin cloud layer, this thin mist, you see you're kind of sort of coming at a canyon, this craggy canyon where it's these sheer cliff walls on either side, and in the middle, this field of these broad-leaved purple plants. Seems like a good a place as any to crash. I'll take one more engineering check and one more piloting check to put this sucker on the ground.
Take us in soft, Percy.
Nice, Percy. Wow, Percy
guys-
and Pip, great job.
You guys have it now. You're talking together. You're on the same team, and Percy's pulling a Captain Sully, and he just puts it down real soft, but still.
Did we both roll 13? That's fantastic.
Stuff just crashing over the canopy. The canopy starts to crack, but finally you come to a rest.
Whew. Let's not do that again.
This is so bad.
That would be preferable, yeah.
Ship intact enough. Pretty intact for a crash landing.
Do we
For
still
an
have
emergency
comms?
landing. Takes a second to reacquire from being jostled, but then you do. You have comms.
I want to ask them to just, like, and we don't need to do it, but, like, ask them to describe what happened to the ship when that radiation bloom occurred so that we know for next time, like, when we take a ship in, what to expect, what systems will go down, etc.
Well, I don't know about the ship, but my brain turned into a baked potato, and I think
Pip?
I'm still a little charred.
You're a little shaky.
Pip, you too? Potato brain?
No, I didn't get any potato brain. I'm not sure.
You had that same headache as before, but it was minor.
Yeah, a little headache,
Right?
but
Can I take a life science check to do, like, a very short, like, 1 minute cognitive exam of Percy with questions?
Sure.
What year is it? No, I'm really asking what year is it?
And then plus be quiet, hang on. Plus 10, so 24.
24. Maynala understands this in narrative terms, but Lily understands that Percy's charisma has been reduced by 1.
Okay. I'll say, I'm not going to tell Percy the diagnosis of that right now. I'm just going to be like, you need to rest and get water, and then I'm going to, like, be texting Claw, basically, like, on the ship, be like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck, like...
I feel okay. Something tastes like, I don't know, like ash? I'm not sure. I feel like I'm alright. I can balance.
Brain damage.
God,
Really
it's
bad,
ash.
yeah. So, just drink a lot of water. Use your reclamator if you need more. Just, take it easy. Pip, I know you're a soldier, but don't push Percy too hard right now. I can't send a direct message to Pip, so I can't really tell him what's going on. But I don't want to. It's not going to be helpful to freak out Percy right now, so I'm not going to.
I'm fine. I landed, didn't I?
You're alive.
You
That's what
landed real
matters.
good.
Yeah. Wow, pretty colors.
It is beautiful. It's sort of an iridescent sky. It's perpetually sunset.
Awesome.
There's also, like, the shadows are weird. Because the light is coming from every direction at once.
Have you ever look at your hand?
Sorry, it took me too long to look it up, but I was like, the test Manala gives you is like, do they keep you in a cell? Cells. When you're not performing your duties, do they keep you in a little box? Cells. Interlinked. What's it like to hold the hand of someone you love? Interlinked. Do you dream about being interlinked? Interlinked.
Yeah. You are way off baseline. I love that movie. Such a good movie. Cool.
I was also looking at the Voight Kampf test and all the weird questions in it.
If someone gave you a snakeskin wallet, what would you do? I'll report them to police immediately. So yeah. That's what's up. You're on the canopy opens. The air is humid and wet. But and sort of pungent, but not unpleasant.
Just very, sweet smelling?
It's sickly sweet.
Yeah. Cloying.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting.
Well, let's see if we can figure out what's fucking up our computers so we can maybe get out of here sometime.
Get the hell out of here.
Cool. As you start inspecting your ship, you see that you look at the diagnostics. When that happened, when you had that radiation bloom happen, it seemed like I said before, something was going from system to system and kind of poking it. The same way you might try to figure out what something does. By poking each thing and seeing what it does. Seeing what breaks.
Have you told us about this, or do you just know this?
I can tell you about it.
Okay.
As long as we've got a connection still.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, we do, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I fill y'all in.
That's interesting, because I kind of felt like something just kind of poked my entire brain at once.
If you say that, even if you don't say that, I definitely want to, tell Klopp to, mute our end of the conversation for a sec, and I'm gonna, over comms the whole fucking ship be like, this is the thing that happened to Percy. It's very dangerous out there. I just want everybody to be aware of the risks, and, please continue taking the medication when we're in the area.
Yeah, well, Manala, if you can kind of sense that weird psychic cloud, that means that it can sense us, and maybe it's poking around. I mean, weird stuff's going on.
I haven't tried to reach out to it directly. I can't right now. All my abilities are inhibited by the helmet and the pill, but I'm wondering, maybe it's worth trying while inhibited. If I normally have my abilities turn up to 10, and this puts them at like a 5. Like I don't really know how it works, but like it might keep me safer to try while I'm drugged up.
Mm-hmm.
If I was gonna try to reach out.
Give me a charisma check.
Okay, I can take the helmet off and try. But I don't. I'm gonna be like very tentative. I'm real scared. Don't want to die. I don't want this. I also don't want to be Deanna Troy.
Like they're ready to help you put the helmet back
I
on.
sense great pain.
Is this charisma you said?
Yep.
So 17.
17. You sort of reach out, but it's very hard with these blockers.
Okay. Can I attempt to reach out to Tohiro?
Same effect.
It's very, very
Okay.
far.
I'll put the helmet back on and just tell Klob, like, I'm really,
You're on
I
a bunch
don't-
of drugs.
yeah, I'm way up on drugs. Can't do this right now, but
I get it. No,
I would be pretty nervous to try later. What I can do that's like a long task, if you're going to be monitoring them on the surface, is just go back in the lab and like set up some kind of system with Dr. Vizan so that if I wanted to attempt it later, they could be monitoring like my vitals and brainwaves.
that makes sense. Yeah,
Cool.
make it more safe.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to have permanent brain damage. I'm really afraid of that.
Good idea.
Pip working on the ship, doing stuff. You think you could probably fix it. A lot of these sort of power buffers burnt out, but not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You may be able to jerry-rig something.
But-
you don't know how to defend yourself from that happening again.
Yeah.
Percy,
Hey.
while this is happening, you kind of hear like wings flapping, like birds. And you look up, and this small flock of 7 birds, little dark green birds with these sort of jagged beaks, and as far as you can tell, no eyes. They must sense some other way, are flying sort of over you. They stop, they circle you, and then they sort of dive down to where you are. And they land around you, Pip, in the ship, equidistant, spaced perfectly equidistant, perched on top of these purple plants that are maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet high. And though they don't have eyes, you get the distinct impression they're looking at you.
Hello.
They stare at you silently.
Hey, Pip.
Mm-hmm.
You concerned about this bird situation?
What birds did you... Oh.
Pip, you look up, and you see a flock of birds flying overhead. 7 of them. And then they fly down, and they land equidistant from each other and the ship, perched on top of plants.
So Percy had already seen them land, but I didn't see them land until I looked up? That's fucking weird.
Huh.
And you get the same impression that they are looking at you. Their heads, all at once, all together, track your movement as you move around and work on the ship.
I want Percy to be aware of it. I want Jake wants our characters to be aware of it. So like when I say, you mean the ones flying down and then they start to land and landing?
No, the one's sitting there looking at us.
What do you mean? They just landed.
What? No, I
Are we
told
looking
you
at,
after they landed.
Are we looking at the same birds?
There's 7 green birds around us. Do you see any other green eyeless birds sitting in a perfect circle watching you?
Yeah, but you said they were landed when they were still flying.
They are.
Oh, they are now.
That's what I'm saying.
They stare at you. Silently.
Shoot them, but like I don't know.
Just shoot them. We just got here. You want to shoot them? This is the wildlife.
I'm
There's
just offering.
probably like rules about hunting season.
Good point. We should probably get a hunting license up from the space station. Oh, wait a minute.
You can forge one. Hey, bird. I'm gonna like walk towards one.
It looks at
Hey.
you.
We'll get like really close and I'll be like, "Hey."
Like you poke it,
I'll get like an inch from poking it.
it reacts not at all.
I poke it.
It does not react. It doesn't even make noise. It's definitely alive.
Are the birds that I see in the exact same positions as the birds that Percy sees, or am I seeing...
Did I poke air?
Percy's poking a bird,
Okay.
is what I will say.
What if I walk outside the circle?
They watch you walk outside the circle, and they look back at Pip. If you do anything outside the circle, like move around or do anything interesting, they turn around and look at you. And if Pip does anything interesting, they look at Pip. If you're both doing something interesting, they seem to pick which one they want to look at.
All of them together every time?
All of them together.
This is weird.
This is really weird. I wonder what's happening back on the ship.
Hey, Manala, do you know anything about, like, peculiar flocks of birds?
Theta, I can look.
This doesn't
Eyeless?
sound like anything you've ever heard of.
They're really
I
into
start-
synchronized swimming?
I started doing a sketch based on their descriptions.
It's super creepy.
It could be some kind of shared consciousness life form, like a hive.
If only you were here to speak pigeon with them.
Good.
Something.
What if I'm gonna pick one up and I'm gonna move it and I'm gonna set it down in a different spot.
It just lets you pick it up.
So it doesn't care about preserving.
And once
the
you
circle.
move it, it goes back to its spot.
Oh, weird. Well,
Not urgently, it just does.
Pip, I guess just keep working and you've got a new fan club. It's fun.
Alrighty then I'm back to getting the ship flyable again.
Like toss a rock in the air and catch it. Or if they keep looking at me.
Pip, as you're working your wrist thing, beep, beep. It's picking up a navigational beacon down on the surface.
That's interesting.
It's got a name. Colony 2.
Say that word again.
Colony 2.
Colony. How far?
It's giving you
Not very creative.
about 2 kilometers.
Short.
And I say,
As the crow fly, as the eyeless bird flies.
there's a colony about 2 kilometers from here. Maybe we'll get some sort of information about how to fix this thing. Maybe some parts too.
Maybe about these birds.
Percy,
Well,
your
let's go for a
head
walk.
starts to hurt.
Oh.
Need some
And
Advil?
it starts to hurt a little more. And then a little more. And then Pip, your radiation
okay.
alarm goes off.
Oh, great. We've got like anti-radiation stuff, right? Like we brought
You have vac suits on, I would assume.
because we were
Yeah,
in
it's,
the fighter
it's, the,
jet.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing that's happening as before,
Okay.
that radiation bloom. But it's sort of happening slowly right now.
Does it have a
Do-
epicenter?
Yes.
Which way?
Directly in the middle of where all the birds are.
Awesome. I'm gonna grab grab Percy and pull him because I'm smaller than him, and just we're gonna run out of the circle.
The birds' eyes follow you. The epicenter starts to move, and then the birds do as well, moving towards you, again, slowly.
Kind of like moseying.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, we're going for a jog now, and we're just gonna start like running towards this colony.
Okay. The birds don't follow very quickly. Eventually, the bloom starts to die down, and the birds take off and fly up into the air.
Okay.
And then, as you're moving towards the colony, the signal's getting a little stronger and stronger.
Okay.
Can I get a perception check from Pip and Percy now that you're not headached anymore?
Sir. I am observant.
Percy and Pip, you see the birds are circling you very up high, way up high.
Weird.
Yeah.
Are they, like, bringing the radiation with them? Or do you think they're, like, marking that there's radiation there?
I have no idea.
Um, where do you guys head now? You've moved about halfway down this canyon, and you see there's like a canopy of trees in front of you.
Probably want to keep
They
heading
look-
towards the colony, right?
They look a lot like these plants, only like big, and they block out the sky.
Pip towards the colony?
Yeah.
Cool. You keep going. It ends up being closer to like 3 or 4 kilometers on foot. But you go into the canopy. You can't see the birds. Percy, your headache is gone. There are creatures and sort of rodent-like things, small creatures and lizard sort of things scurrying around in the underbrush here, but they avoid you. They act like animals. And then you sort of come into a clearing, and you see an overgrown prefab town. Kind of sizable town. There's a sign that says Colony 2. Hasn't been named yet. Yes, Manila?
Do the things on this, I mean, like, I'm not there, but they saw the other prefab stuff on the Somnambulist. Does it look like the same types of materials?
Very much the same.
Okay.
And I think that's where we're going to leave you this week. Having discovered Colony 2 on the surface of Arquand, sort of overgrown jeeps and vehicles, overgrown buildings, sort of vines going down the sides of these structures. They've been overgrown for 50 years, but they're made of stuff that doesn't decompose.
Yeah.
And we will see you all next week as we tease out the mysteries of this creepy planet some more. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Announcements for next week?
Yeah, so tune in this Wednesday for our other game, Princes of Azamar, our live D&D game. Our party has just, after attending the Ascent Ball with the elves, they have discovered there's some peculiarity going on with Irina and Irina's evil clone, and they're not sure who's who and what's what and which way's up and which way's down. And only I know the answers. So tune in on Wednesday to see where we go with that and what's going on next. 7:15 p.m. Pacific here on Jetsam Academy.
And see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Careful, me.